forward in recapping the 28-day challenge. It's important really it's a time of reflection. We hit it a little different, people hit it a little differently, a lot differently than we did on Sunday. But I just want to quickly just go through AA's, how it works. Lord, I thank you for another day above ground and out of prison. Lord, I thank you for the freedom. Lord, I thank you for my job that allows me to work and pay my bills. Lord, I thank you for the discipline that job has taught me that to get up in the morning, Lord, to show up when I say I'm going, to put in an honest day's effort, Lord, to do whatever is asked of me. Lord, I thank you for that. Sometimes I take that for granted. Lord, I thank you for the people that you put around me to hold me accountable. Lord, I thank you for your grace and mercy is the only reason I stand here today. Lord, but most of all, I thank you for your Son, Jesus. That because of him, I am sitting here a free person. My sins are forgiven as far as the east to the west and the sea of forgetfulness. And I thank you for your Holy Spirit, so when somebody tries to remind me that I'm a failure, I speak back to that statement and say, there is no condemnation. Yes. They try to remind me of all the things I did, or I try to remind myself, or the addict or the enemy reminds me, Lord, I use your word as a tool. Yes, God. And it's powerful and effective. It's sharper than double-edged sword. Lord, I thank you. I ask that you remove me from the building right now, open hearts and minds, and speak like never has been spoken before. In your name we pray, amen. Amen. So as I was thinking about the 28-day challenge, how it works came to mind, and I just really want to break it down. For the sake of time, I'm going to have to go a little quicker. But how it works says, rarely have we seen a person fail that has thoroughly followed our path. How thoroughly did you follow the 28-day challenge? It doesn't say thoroughly follow your path and what you think is best for you. God puts people like me in programs like this because I need to follow another path other than my own, because if I'm honest with myself, it was my path that got me there. So it goes on to say, those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. Did you give yourselves to the 28-day challenge? See, if you're still here tonight, you still got an opportunity. Could I have done better? Well, obviously I could have done better. I'm not sitting out here in shame and guilt, but it's a simple AA, NA, Serenity Village, treatment centers, 28-day challenges are simple, but we complicate it. We complicate it. It says, usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. Now, I've been to 11 treatments now. One would think that a guy like me should know that I got to work the program. Not my program, the program. But if I'm not being honest with myself, I will think that I can take shortcuts. And I'll tell you tonight that a shortcut is nothing but a setback. Anything that I manipulated the outcome on in my past recoveries always came back to bite me. Always came back to bite me. And it says constitutionally incapable of being honest. I mean, when you can lie to yourself and tell yourself you don't need to work a program, you can lie to anybody. See, it's a simple lie. As somebody walks up to you, how are you doing? You're totally miserable. I'm fine. That's a lie. That's a lie. And it says there are such unfortunates. I don't want to be an unfortunate. People looked at me through my 20 years of addiction. That's very unfortunate that he's like that. Yeah. I don't want to be an unfortunate person. With God, you don't have to be an unfortunate person. And what it says here is, they're not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. Now, that's really depression. Because it's true. I was born this way. But, and that's where I have to look at this, okay? See, I have a choice to be honest. But if I was born this way, it says they are naturally, now that's in the natural. There's a big difference between the natural and the supernatural, okay? Yeah. The supernatural is what breaks the way you were born. Yep. It's called the generational curse. Yes, sir. So if you're reading this, you might get a little depressed. Well, this is the way, and you might use it as an excuse. I was just born this way. But with God, in the supernatural, you can break those generational curses so your kids don't have to be unfortunate. There you go. And their kids don't have to be unfortunate because of choices I made. And what it's saying is, they're not at fault. They seem to be born. They're naturally incapable. I don't want to be unfortunate and incapable. don't want to be that guy. But I will by my own devices. I need God, and I need the program. It says that incapable of grasping. I mean, if I'm unfortunate and I'm incapable, I can't even grasp how good God really is and how much He actually loves me. I ain't sitting in prison. I have an opportunity. I need to grasp onto this. No matter if I want to do it or not, it ain't about what I want to do. I need to do it anyway. But am I incapable? Am I unfortunate? Am I a victim? Am I a victim of my life? See, it's so important to say, and now check it out now. Incapable of grasp, those are some pretty harsh words. Incapable, unfortunate. Developing a manner of living. We don't have a drug problem or an alcohol problem. We have a living problem. Anytime it gets confusing or tough, we run. And when we begin to shut down, it says, now this is what AA is saying now. It just doesn't suggest honesty. It demands rigorous honesty with yourself. See, I can be honest with you. Your kids can be honest with you. Your spouse can be honest with you. Your daughter can be honest with you. But until you get honest with yourself on how much you really need this program, and it isn't, you're not unfortunate, you're not incapable. If you were unfortunate or incapable, God wouldn't have given you the opportunity. See, that's what we've got to look at now, where it says their chances are less than average. Oh my God. Incapable? Unfortunate? Less than average? That's how I felt my whole life. That's why I drank. That's why I drugged. And it says, there are two who suffer from grave, that's pretty deep, grave is deep, emotional and mental disorders. That's me. I got a living problem. I got some stuff going on up here. Who's got some stuff going on up here? But it says, and those who suffer from grave, not just emotional and mental, grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them, now, the thing is that not everybody makes it. But many of them do recover if they have the capacity. Capacity is a big word, to be honest. Honesty is critical. Honesty, it says, are the stories now disclose in a general way what we used to be like. Dishonest, incapable, and unfortunate. What happened? Jails, institutions, and death. And what we're like now? Free. Freedom is attractive. Attraction rather than promotion is what they tell me in AA. I love AA. I'm attracted to free people. I want what they have, so I got to do what they do. But it says, what happens when we're like, if you decided, now the decision's on you. Do you want to be unfortunate and incapable in your life? God doesn't play favorites. The Bible's very clear about that. If you decided, see, people have just tried to decide for me. That's why they threw me in 11 treatments. Only one of them I went because I wanted to. That's the one that stuck. See, if you decided that you want what we have, check out what it says now. And you're willing to go to any length to get it. Just the same length you went to get your drink and drug. See, this is strong here. This is strong. I mean, are you willing? Yeah, you're willing on 2 days sober. I see you. You ain't willing once you get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, though. Are you willing to go to any length? See, then you're ready to take certain steps, and that's what we're going to do over the next 12 weeks. It said some of these we balked. Now this is us too. Oh, I'll do this, but I'm not going to do that. But you know what? That didn't work for me on my addiction. I'm just going to smoke weed. But I ended up smoking crack. And some of these we balked. We thought we could find, and we were. I mean, if you or me took all the energy that we put into finding an easier, softer way into a thorough program, we'd be free.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, it says we thought. Now my thinking
thinking got me here. My best thinking got me here, not just my thinking. We thought we could find, and I sought, I looked, how I can do this the way, I need to do it differently than they're telling me to do it. We thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. How many found that out? With all the earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas. Your best thinking got you here. You need to change one thing, that's everything. Your old ideas, nothing changes up. I see it, 10, 20 guys in the program right now, and women, doing the same thing. And they think in their mind, that's sad for me to watch, but it says, that we have to let go absolutely. What is that? Why do you think that 2 words in that video said absolute surrender, not partial surrender? Partial obedience is disobedience. A white lie is a lie. See, and so we got to let go absolutely and surrender. Remember that we deal with alcohol, drugs, sex, whatever your deal is, gambling, cunning, baffling, and powerful. It's got you whipped. It's got you whipped. It's got me whipped. And it's so important to understand it. Yeah, you're cunning, baffling, and powerful. Why don't you ask your parents or your loved ones having to watch you sabotage? Man, my son or daughter's a good kid. I don't understand this drug thing. God, my dad's a good dad. 6 months now. And I wonder if he really believes that those drugs are more important than I am. It's cunning, baffling, and powerful. Your addiction is bigger than you. It says without help, it's too much for us. Yeah, I've proven that. But there's one who has all power. Now this is where you need to get excited. That one is God. May you find him now. See, we need to seek God. Half measures avail is nothing. So if you half measured the 28-day challenge, you got nothing. And you might not think you have nothing now, but your nothing is around the corner, and so is mine. Yeah. We stood at the turning point, and I'm here to tell you guys, tonight is the turning point. Tonight you know how much disciplined you really are. Tonight you know what you really did during the 28-day challenge. It says, we ask his protection and care with complete abandon. Now, I love the Proverbs. It's an easy read. I'm not a reader. I'm easily distracted. But I just really want to just quickly go through the Proverbs. Proverbs 1. I got 2. I love it. My kids bought me this Bible. It's an NIV and a Message. So for a guy like me, sometimes I got to take a second look. But it says now in Proverbs 1, it says start with God. The first step is learning to bow down to God. No, I ain't going to bow down to anyone. Let me remind you, you bow down to your addiction. You bow down to your alcohol. You bow down to your crack and heroin. And we bow down to our feelings all the time. It says we must bow down to God. Only fools thumb their noses at such wisdom. Now, rarely have we seen a person fail. Now it says, but since you are rejected when I called and no one gave heed when I stretched out my hand. Isn't it something when you try to help somebody and they don't want the help? Since you ignored what you're going to hear as I go through this is Proverbs talks about wisdom, allowing yourself to be corrected and receiving direction. It says, well, how many times in our recoveries I ignored somebody's advice because I had all the answers? It says, and no one gave heed when I stretched out my hand. Since you ignored all my advice, you would not accept my rebuke, you wouldn't let yourself be corrected, I will turn and laugh at your possession. And that's hardcore, man. It says, then you will call to me, but I will not. You remember what it's like when you're out there in your addiction, you wanted to stop and you couldn't. It had you. It called out. And it's like, by then so many people were sick of my broken promises that they just stepped back out of my life. See, the greatest thing that ever happened in my life is people stepped back from me and let me get the payment. And that's what it's saying. Since they hated knowledge, you might not think you hate it, but if you're not working a program, you do. And did not choose to fear the Lord. Well, fear of relapse. Since they would not accept my advice, they spurn my rebuke, they will eat the fruit of their ways and be filled with the fruit of their schemes. Schemers get bit by their own schemes. See, and now what it's saying, if the roof falls in on the Message and your whole life goes to pieces, how many people there. What if catastrophe strikes and there's nothing to show for your life but rubble and ashes? I had no problem moving because all I had was a plastic baggie with my contents in it. At 33. It says, to show your life but rubble and ashes, you'll need me then, you'll call for me then, but don't expect me to answer. No matter how hard you look, you won't find me. I thank God that He changed His mind about me. But you wouldn't take my advice, it says. You brushed it aside, my offers to train you. You made your bed, now you have to lie in it, it says. You wanted your own way, now how do you like it? Pretty hardcore. First pay attention to me, then relax, it says. Now you can take it easy, you're in good hands. If you're in Serenity Village, you're in good hands. It says now in chapter 2, it says, so join the company of good men and women. Keep your feet on tried and true paths. 10 years we've been doing this. You saw the graduates. I've seen restoration of families. This is tried and tested. You know, it says in chapter 3, good friend, don't forget I've taught you. Take to heart my commands. So we soften it up in our program. Horvath and I love AA. So, I mean, our sponsors would make suggestions. They really need to command us to do something. You give me a suggestion, that's just too soft for me. That gives me an out. But here's what it's saying, you know. It says, don't lose your grip on love and loyalty. Let them around your neck. Carve them initials in your heart. Earn a reputation for living well. I had that reputation when I got here. In God's eyes and the eyes of people. It says, don't assume that you know it all. Run to God, run from evil. Your body will glow with health. Isn't that something? See, Rob's sisters are here tonight. I don't think it's been a while since they've seen Rob glow. Because he's glowing. I mean, Rob sent me a text out of the blue today and told me he loved me. God sent him to me today. Because he's glowing with gratitude. Glowing with appreciation. It says, but don't, dear friend, resent God's discipline. Now, you've got to be open to, don't sulk under the loving correction. If somebody loves you and authority over you enough to correct you, that's love. I mean, it says, it's the child who loves God correct. The child he loves that God corrects, a father's delight in all this. Now it goes on to say in chapter 4, above all else, guard your heart. It's the wellspring of life. It says in the Message Bible, keep diligent watch over your heart. That's where life starts. We learned that as we studied the heart in the month of May and April, that everything that has happened to us is stored in our heart. Don't talk out of both sides of your mouth. Boy, I love it when people do that to me. Do you think I'm foolish or something? You said that, I mean, life is so much work. And you have to go to bed every night wondering if they're going to find out. Don't talk out of both sides of your mouth. Avoid careless banter, white lies, and gossip. So, no, this doesn't apply to me. I don't know. I can't relate to the Proverbs. I didn't get anything out of it. Keep your eyes straight ahead. Ignore sideshow distractions. We love distractions. Watch your step, and the road will stretch out smooth before you. It says now in chapter 5, it says, at the end of your life you will groan. When your flesh and your body are spent, you will say, how I hated discipline. How much my heart spurned correction. I would not obey my teachers or listen to my instructors. I have come to the brink of utter ruin in the midst of the whole assembly. You know how hard it is to watch someone fall? Jeez. It's humiliating to watch. It says out of the Message Bible in chapter 5, why should you allow strangers to take advantage of you? Why is it that we push the right people out and let the wrong people in? Strangers took advantage of us on the streets. Why be exploited by those who care nothing for you? You don't want to end up full of regrets, nothing but sin and bones. Saying, oh, why didn't I do what they told me? Why didn't I reject the disciplined life? Why didn't I listen to my mentors? Why didn't I take my teachers seriously? My life is ruined, it says. I haven't one blessed thing to show for it, my bad. And if I could have found those clothes, I would. See, I can relate to Proverbs. Now it says in chapter 7, as it goes a little more in, Don't miss a word of this. I'm telling you how to live well. I'm telling you how to live at your best. I love those who love me, and those who seek me find me. God ain't going to hide from you. I love those who love me, it says in the message. Those who look for me find me. Now it goes on to say, whoever corrects a mocker invites an insult. You ever tried to work with somebody that doesn't want to be worked with? Our leaders spend way too much time with people who don't want to be worked with. When we got people that are ripe and want to really get free. And I'm telling them, we're done with that. When you correct a mocker, you invite insult. Whoever rebukes a wicked man incurs abuse. Do not rebuke a mocker, because he will hate you. I mean, why is it that when I'm out of pocket, when I'm not working a program, and somebody cares enough about me to correct me, I'm upset with them? I'm upset with myself. And that comes down to how it works. It says, but if you correct those who care about life, that's different. They'll love you for it. When you're around the right people that will correct you because they love you, they'll benefit from that. Because they care about life. They care about their recovery. They care about their program. So save your breath for the wise, it says. They'll be wiser for it. Tell people what you know, they'll profit from it. Now it goes on to say, lazy hands make a man poor. Your recovery's on you. Finding a job is on you. When you were out of dope, you found something. There ain't nothing can hold you down but you. We can't be. If you're lazy in your recovery, you're going to get put to work in your relapse. But diligent hands bring wealth. It says the memory of the righteous will be a blessing, but the name of the wicked will not. The man of integrity walks securely, but he who takes crooked paths will be found out. God, I love it when people try to play games in this program. Honesty lives confident and carefree, but shifty is sure to be exposed. He who heeds discipline shows ways of life, but whoever ignores correction leads others astray. Don't hang around people that don't want to be corrected and murmur and complain about the people that are correcting. I mean, it says, the more talk, the less truth. The wise measure their words. The speech of a good person is worth waiting for. The blabber of the wicked is worthless. God's blessing makes life rich. Nothing you can do to improve on God. An empty head thinks mischief is fun, but a mindful person relishes wisdom. The nightmares of the wicked come true. What the good people desire, they get. When the storm is over, there's nothing left for the wicked. Good people firm their rock foundation and aren't even fazed. The lazy employer will give you nothing but trouble. Trust me, I have that. Good people last, can't be moved. The wicked are here today, gone tomorrow. If your friendship is based on a mistake a person made to you or from you, it ain't a friendship. It says in chapter 11, the stuck-up fall flat on their faces, but down-to-earth people stand firm. Good character is the best insurance. Crooks get trapped in their own sinful lust. When the wicked die, that's it. The story's over. End of hope. It goes on to say, the gotcha, when you're kind to others, you help yourself. When you're cruel to others, you hurt yourself. Take your stand. I don't get anything out of it. Take your stand in God's loyal community and live. Serenity Village is a community. Take your stand in it. Find your place in it. Get involved with it. God can't stand deceivers, and oh, how he relishes integrity. Chapter 12. If you love learning, you'll love discipline. Learning and discipline go together. You can't say that you're learning when you're not willing to be disciplined. That's a half measure. Discipline goes with it. How short-sighted is to refuse correction, it says. From the fruit of his lips a man is filled with good things. Surely as the work of his hands rewards him. The way of the fool seems right to him, but the wise man listens to advice. See, I thought things were good, and they weren't good, and I made decisions on my own, and it turned out to be disasters. A fool shows annoyance at once, but a prudent man overlooks an insult. The Lord detests lying lips, but he delights in men who are truthful. Diligent hands will rule, but laziness will end in slave labor. Lazy in your program, but work in your relapse. Fools are headstrong and do what they like. Wise people take advice. Fools have short fuses and explode all too quickly. A prudent quietly shrugs off insults. Truth lasts. Lies are here today, gone tomorrow. It goes on to say, a good acquired taste is helpful conversation. Bullies push and shove their way through life. Careful words make a careful life. Careless talk may ruin everything. A good person hates false talk. A bad person wallows in gibberish. The life of good people are bright, lit streets. The lives of the wicked are dark alleys. Arrogant know-it-alls stir up discord. The wise men and women listen to each other's counsel. It says, refuse discipline and end up homeless. How many people have refused discipline and ended up homeless? I can't go on this Proverbs. Don't understand it. That's pretty. I've lived it. The truth is not going to adjust itself to you. You need to adjust yourself to the truth. This is the truth. Yeah, I'm a living proof that it's the truth. An honest life shows respect for God. A degenerate life is a slap in the face. My life was a slap in the face to my family. Everything they did for me, it's like, I didn't care. I didn't work the program. I wasn't taking it serious. It's like slapping somebody in the face. People that didn't give up on me and different things. I mean, it's so important. All hard work brings profit, but mere talk leads to profit. Yeah, I'm going to work the program. I'm going to get serious. I'm going to work the steps. I'm going to get a mentor. Nothing. The heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. It says hard work always pays off. Mere talk puts no bread on the table. The mark of a good leader is loyal followers. Leadership is nothing without a following. If you want to know if you're a leader, look over your shoulder. And if you're a leader, you got to be a follower. And it says, a gentle answer turns away rash, but a harsh word stirs, chapter 15. Moral dropouts won't listen to their elders. Welcoming correction is a mark of good sense. The lives of God-loyal people flourish. A misspent life is soon bankrupt. Stern discipline awaits those who leave the path. Thoroughly, how it works says, follow our path. Not just discipline, stern discipline. A mocker resents correction. He will not consult the wise. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. A miserable heart means a miserable life. A cheerful heart fills it with day and song. I love cheerful people. You get excited when they come. Refuse good advice and watch your plans fail. Take good counsel and watch them succeed. This stuff is so right on. He who listens to a life-giving rebuke, allow yourself to be corrected, will be at home among the wise, not homeless. He who ignores discipline despises himself, but he who heeds correction gains understanding. All the man's ways seem innocent to him, but his motives are weighed by the Lord. Why are you here? You're here to get your family back. You're going to get them back, or you're still going to relapse. If you're here to get free, you'll stay free. And you'll keep your family. See, it says, when God approves of your life, even your enemies end up shaking your hand. And I don't got time to get into the story. I had a guy that wanted to kill me and shake my hand. In the Hennepin County elevator going down to the property room. Because I proclaimed this verse over. God-tempered leaders invigorate lives. They are like spring rain in the sunshine. First pride, then the crash. And it says, overlooking offense, bond of friendship. See, again, your friendship is, and I was working with two of my friends last week, if your whole friendship is based on one day, it ain't a friendship. But it says overlook an offense and bond of friendship. I want to overlook when people do certain things because I'm going to do certain things too, and I want them to overlook. You reap what you sow. And that's what it's saying here. It says people ruin their lives by their own stupidity. So why does God always get blamed? Blaming God for my relapse. If you're down and out on your luck, even your family avoids you, it says. Yes, even your best friends would wish you'd get lost. People get sick of us. God, they ran when they saw me coming. Listen to advice and accept instruction. In the end, you will be wise. Many are the plans of a man's heart, but in the Lord purposes prevail. Flog a mocker, the simple will learn prudence. It says, blockheads, where's Steve? Blockheads shouldn't live on easy street any more than workers should give orders to their boss. You're an employee trying to boss your boss around. You're never going to be a boss. Because you don't understand what it takes to be a boss. Smart people know how to hold their tongue, their grandeur to forgive and forget. Life collapses on loafers. Lazy bones grow hungry. Keep the rules and keep your life. Careless living, it kills, it goes on to say. It says, the purpose of the man's heart are deep waters, but a man's understanding draws them out. Lots of people claim to be loyal and loving. But where in the earth can you find one? God-loyal people live honest lives, make it much easier for their children. Leaders who know their business and care keep sharp eye on the shoddy and cheap. For among us, who can be trusted? To always be diligent and honest. Make plans by seeking advice. If you wage war, obtain guidance. Do not say, I'll pay you back for this wrong. Wait for the Lord. He will deliver you. A man's steps are directed by the Lord. How then can anyone understand his own way? Form your purpose by asking for counsel. Then carry it out by the help you can get. A man's ways seem right to him, but the Lord weighs the heart. Do what is right and just is more acceptable than the Lord than sacrifice. Good leadership is a channel of water controlled by God. He directs to whatever He chooses. When a wise man is instructed, he gets knowledge. A man who strays from the path of understandings comes into rest of the company of the dead. He who pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honor. Whoever wanders off the straight and narrow ends up in a congregation of ghosts. If you're addicted to thrills, what an empty life. The pursuit of pleasure is never satisfied. It goes on to say, there is no wisdom, no insight, no plan that can seed against the Lord. Humility and fear of the Lord bring wealth and honor. Train a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he'll return to it. A prudent person sees trouble coming and ducks. A simpleton walks blindly and gets clobbered. Drive out a mocker and out goes strife, quarrels and insights. Isn't this? I've been doing this for 10 years, and I got 2 or 3 people on it. Cause all this strife. They go, whole house is at peace. Now the Message Bible puts it a little more bluntly. Kick out a troublemaker and things quiet down. You'll need a break from the bickering and griping. Anyone? Don't stealthily move back into boundary lines staked out by your ancestors. Observe people who are good at their work. Skilled workers are always in demand and admired. They don't take the back seat to anybody. That's confidence. It says, who are the people that are always crying the blues? Poor me, poor me. Oh, poor me, another drink. Why do you know who reeks of self-pity? Who do you know? Who keeps getting beat up for no reason at all? Whose eyes are bleary and bloodshot? It's those who spend the night with the bottle, from whom drinking is serious business. Don't judge wine by its label. It is a bouquet filled with body flavor. Judge it rather by the hangover it leaves you with. The splitting headache, the queasy stomach. Do you really prefer seeing double with the speech all slurred? Reeling and seasick, drunk as a sailor. They hit me, you'll say, but it didn't hurt. They beat on me and I didn't feel a thing. When I'm sober enough to manage it, bring me another drink.
What chapter is that?
Wow. I can't relate to the Proverbs. Didn't do anything for me. 23.
Hallelujah.
It's better to be wise and strong. Intelligent outranks muscle any day. Strategic planning is the key to warfare. To win, you need a lot of good counsel. Wise conversation is the way over the head of fools. Sometimes it's just better to save your breath. In a serious discussion, they haven't had a clue. Because they're not rigorously honest. If you fall to pieces... Oh, this is good. If you fall to pieces in a crisis, there wasn't much to you in the first place. Think you're somewhere you're not. And you get tested and fall apart. That's a blessing too. There's nothing wrong with that. At least you know where you are. Don't gloat when your enemy fails. When he stumbles, do not let your heart rejoice. For the Lord will see and disapprove and turn away from you. See, you can't. You see somebody fall that you don't like. Shouldn't make you happy. Don't interfere. Oh, I love this one. Love this. This is so true. People try to do it all the time. Don't interfere with good people's lives. Don't try to get the best of them. No matter how many times you try to trip them up, God-loyal people don't stay down long. As soon as they're up on their feet, while the wicked end up flat on their faces. Don't work yourself into the spotlight. Don't push your way into the place of prominence. It's
It's better to be promoted at a place of honor than to face humiliation by, see, how many times is your talent taken when you or your character couldn't sustain you? So eager to get to the top, just to be humiliated in front of the whole assembly. That was me in corporations. The right word at the right time is like a cushion-made, fine piece of jewelry. And wise friends' timely reprimand is like a gold ring slipped on the finger. Reliable friends who do what they say are like cool drinks in the sweltering heat refreshing. If your enemy is hungry, I love this one. If your enemy, I love it when I know people aren't with me. If your enemy is hungry, give them food to eat. If they're thirsty, give them water to drink. And by doing this, you'll keep burning coals over their head. Like a city whose walls are broken down, a man who lacks self-control. Like a fluttering sparrow and a darting swallow, an undisturbed curse does not come to. You give curse the cause. Either you're blessed or you're cursed, but you got to cause the curse to come upon you. The only power the addict or the devil has is the power that you give the devil or the addict. A person without self-control is like a horse. A house with doors and windows are knocked out. A dog returns to its vomit. So a fool repeat. You go back to drinking and drugging, you're returning to your own vomit. I did it 20 years. Do you see a man wise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than him. If you think you got it, you dismiss it. Now this one gets me hard because my dad did it for 30 years. I'm doing it today. I have a lot of business owner friends of mine that won't hire people in recovery. They once did, but they won't anymore. Hire a fool or a drunk, and you'll shoot yourself in the foot. As a dog eats its own vomit, a fool recycles silliness. Let another praise you, not your own mouth. Better an open rebuke than a hidden love. Why we like those hidden loves, don't we? The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and suffer. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. As water reflects a face, so one man's heart reflects a man. Chapter 28, the wicked man sees through, no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. When a country is rebellious, it has many rulers, but a man of understanding has knowledge and maintains order. That's difficult for me as the leader here, because I got to maintain order. And a lot of times when you're blessed and successful, it gets out of order. So, be expecting me in the church and in the program. It's my job, unfortunately for me, to maintain order because I was a people pleaser. The wicked are edgy with guilt, ready to run off. Even no one's after them. Have you ever ran when nobody was chasing you? Honest people are relaxed and confident, bold as lions. When the country is in chaos, everybody has a plan to fix it. Even the people that cause the chaos. But it takes a leader of real understanding to straighten things out, the person that God has given the vision to. Whoever walks blameless is kept safe, but he who is perverse will suddenly fall. He who works the land will have abundant food, but the one who chases fantasies will fill his poverty. It says, a tender-hearted person lives a blessed life. A hard-hearted person lives a hard life. He who trusts in himself is a fool, but he who walks in wisdom is kept safe. He who gives to the poor lack nothing, but he who closes his eye to them receives many curses. If you think you know it all, you're a fool for sure. Real survivors learn wisdom from others. We're going to take a 10-minute break, meet again for a half hour, then have a half-hour group, because I know you're jonesing for a cigarette. I love